Now with this high scorer feature added, we're pretty much done with this game. But I did now test it off screen, and whilst testing it off screen, I saw that the difficulty does not work correctly. If I run this application and I choose hard, I can basically defeat this monster in almost one single attack. The attacks deal way too much damage, so it actually gets easier if I pick a higher difficulty. Now the reason for that is that in the end the damage dealt by the player is multiplied by the difficulty level, so higher levels lead to more damage, which of course is absolutely not the idea. That's a bug introduced by ChatGPT, and that's why it's important to always test the results ChatGPT gives you, because it may introduce bugs like that. It definitely can produce wrong results. And therefore here, for me, for this problem, I'll send a follow-up message to ChatGPT where I'll say, the game contains a bug. Higher difficulty levels lead to higher damage values for the player. The opposite should be the case. For higher difficulty levels, the player should deal less damage. Instead, the monster should deal more damage. And by sending this message to ChatGPT, it then goes ahead and hopefully produces code that fixes this problem and changes the damage values. And here I can already see that it did indeed remove this difficulty multiplier, so now at least we're not doing more damage as the game gets more difficult. Instead, these values are now lower than the default damage values, which are chosen for the easy difficulty. And when it comes to the monster attack, indeed now it multiplies the monster's damage with the difficulty level. So the monster will deal more damage on higher difficulties. So that's looking better, and I can now grab that code and replace these perform regular attack, perform strong attack, perform heal, and monster attack functions with my updated code. And now save everything and give this updated code a try. And now if I pick normal difficulty, you see that indeed the monster dealt quite a lot of damage, and I on the other hand did not deal a lot of damage. But now actually the game's getting too hard, because now it's basically impossible for me to win because that monster is dealing way too much damage. So we might want to refine this further by sending follow-up messages like this one. Here I'm prompting ChatGPT to improve the balancing of the game and to make sure that the monster deals more damage but not that much extra damage. And therefore indeed ChatGPT gives me some fine-tuned code here, which does no longer multiply the damage of the monster with the difficulty, but instead simply sets different damage ranges for the different difficulty levels, hopefully leading to a more balanced game experience. So now if I replace monster attack with this updated monster attack code, and I then run this game, if I choose normal difficulty, it looks a bit more balanced, I guess, but I'm still struggling here, and it's still pretty hard to win. Indeed, I lost even though it was closer, and I can only imagine that it would be quite difficult on hard difficulty. So we might want to fine-tune this even further by sending more follow-up messages here, but to not waste your time, I'll not do that here, because you can definitely see how we would go about that. We would simply continue sending messages and tweaking that code. We could, of course, also tweak those values manually. Even without programming experience, you can probably tell that these here seem to be the damage value ranges, and you could therefore tweak them manually, but I'll not do that here. Instead here, I'll simply finish this exercise. I'll accept this solution because you can definitely see how you could use ChatGPT to build a program like this game, and how you would simply refine it with multiple messages step by step, how you could ask for extra features, how you could and should then test the game, and how you can refine it by sending more messages to ChatGPT. As mentioned, definitely feel free to refine this more on your own. Here, for me, I'm happy with this result.